I found my wife's second phone wedged between the passenger seat and center console of her car at 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday, and by 6:52 a.m., I understood that the last 8 months of my life had been a carefully constructed lie. The phone buzzed as I reached for my travel mug, the one I'd left in Emily's Honda the night before. A text notification lit up the screen. "Can't wait to see you at the Riverside Inn today. Room 412, noon sharp. Wear that thing I bought you." The sender, Kevin M. My hand froze. Emily didn't know anyone named Kevin. At least that's what I would have said 5 seconds ago, back when I still lived in a world that made sense. I should have put the phone down, should have walked away, gone to work, pretended I'd never seen it. Instead, I unlocked it. She'd used our daughter's birthday, because of course she had, and opened the message thread. 3 minutes later, I was sitting on our driveway in my work clothes, reading 8 months of evidence that my wife had been sleeping with her boss. Not just sleeping with him, planning a future with him. The messages went back to last January, right after she'd gotten that promotion to regional sales director that she'd been so excited about. Except it wasn't excitement, it was guilt. "I feel terrible lying to Jake," she'd written in March, "but I can't give you up. What we have is real. Your husband is a good guy, but he doesn't appreciate you like I do," Kevin had replied. "Once my divorce is finalized, we can be together properly. Just a few more months." I scrolled further. Pictures. Nothing explicit, but intimate enough. Her wearing lingerie I'd never seen. The two of them at restaurants I recognized. Places she'd told me were client dinners or team meetings. A weekend trip to Napa that she'd claimed was a conference. My chest felt tight. The morning air suddenly seemed too thick to breathe. "Daddy?" I looked up. My daughter Lily stood in the doorway, her backpack already on for school. She was 7 years old, gap-toothed, with Emily's blonde hair and my green eyes. "Hey, sweetheart." I forced my voice to sound normal, slipping the phone into my jacket pocket. "Ready for school?" "Mommy says breakfast is ready. Are you coming?" "Yeah, just checking something in the car. I'll be right there." Lily skipped back inside, and I sat there for another moment, staring at nothing. Through the kitchen window, I could see Emily moving around, probably packing Lily's lunch. She was wearing her blue bathrobe, the one I'd gotten her for Christmas. Her hair was pulled back in a messy bun. She looked exactly like she had every other morning for the past 11 years of our marriage. How had I not noticed? I thought back over the past months. The late meetings that ran until 9 or 10 at night. The weekend team-building exercises. The new lingerie that appeared in her drawer, which I'd stupidly assumed was for my benefit, even though she'd been too tired for intimacy most nights. The way she'd started keeping her phone face down on every surface. The password she'd added to her laptop for work security. All of it so obvious in hindsight. All of it invisible when you trust someone completely. I walked back into the house. Emily was at the stove, flipping pancakes. She smiled when she saw me. "There you are. I made your favorite, blueberry. Coffee's fresh." I studied her face, looking for some sign of the betrayal I now knew existed. But there was nothing. Just my wife of 11 years, making breakfast for our family like she had 1,000 times before. "Thanks," I managed. Lily chattered about her upcoming field trip to the Science Museum while we ate. Emily reminded her about soccer practice after school. I nodded at appropriate moments, contributed to the conversation when expected, played my role in this domestic tableau while the phone in my pocket felt like it weighed 50 pounds. Emily checked her watch. "I've got to get ready. Big day today, meeting with the district managers." She kissed the top of Lily's head, then leaned over to kiss my cheek. I didn't pull away, but I didn't lean into it either. If she noticed, she didn't show it. 20 minutes later, Emily emerged from our bedroom in a charcoal business suit, her hair styled, makeup perfect. Professional. Polished. She grabbed her briefcase and her regular phone from the kitchen counter. "I'll probably be late tonight," she said. "The meeting might run long and then we're doing a dinner with the team." Another lie. I knew it now. Could hear it in the casual way she delivered the words, like she'd practiced them. "Sure," I said. "I'll handle dinner and bedtime." "You're the best." She blew me a kiss from the doorway. "Love you." The door closed behind her. Through the window, I watched her get into her Honda, back out of the driveway, and disappear down our tree-lined street. I pulled out the second phone and looked at the message again. Riverside Inn. Room 412. Noon sharp. My own phone was already in my hand. I had 4 hours before that meeting. 4 hours to decide what to do with the information that had just detonated my entire life. I called my office and told them I had a family emergency. Then I called my brother Tyler. "Jake, what's wrong? You sound weird." "I need you to meet me at Fletcher's Diner in 20 minutes, I said. "And Tyler, bring your camera." The phone buzzed in my hand. Kevin M's name lit up the screen. An incoming text. "Can't wait to see you. Room 412. I'll have champagne waiting." My stomach turned. I stared at the message, watching the timestamp update. 9:47 a.m. 2 hours and 13 minutes until their little rendezvous. I set the phone down on the kitchen counter, face up. Left it there like evidence at a crime scene, which I suppose it was. The crime scene of my marriage. Tyler texted back within 30 seconds. "On my way. What's going on?" "Tell you when you get here," I typed. "Bring that camera. The good one." 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. Then, okay. I made coffee, poured it into a mug I'd gotten Emily for our 10th anniversary last year. "World's best wife," in cheerful yellow letters. The irony wasn't lost on me, but I was beyond caring about irony. I drank the coffee black, standing at the kitchen window, watching Mrs. Patterson across the street water her roses. Normal Tuesday morning, garbage trucks making their rounds, school buses long gone. The world continuing its rotation like nothing had changed. Except everything had changed. I thought about calling in sick to work. I was a project manager at a construction firm, had a site meeting at 11 that I should probably cancel. But then I realized I didn't care. Not about the meeting, not about the project, not about the client who'd been breathing down my neck all week about permit delays. Hard to care about permits when your wife was planning to celebrate her affair with champagne in a hotel room. Tyler showed up at 10:15. I watched his truck pull into the driveway, saw him grab a camera bag from the passenger seat. He was 2 years younger than me, still single, worked as a freelance photographer. Mostly weddings and corporate events, but he had the equipment. I opened the door before he could knock. "Jake," he studied my face. "You look terrible." "Come in." He followed me to the kitchen, saw the phone on the counter, still glowing with notifications. Another text from Kevin M. had come through. "Checked in early. They upgraded us to a suite." "Whose phone?" Tyler asked. "Emily's, her secret phone." I picked it up, handed it to him. "Go ahead, read it." He scrolled for maybe 30 seconds before his expression changed. "Jesus Christ." 8 months, I said. "Her boss. Guy named Kevin M. They're meeting at the Riverside Inn at noon. Room 412. Well, apparently a suite now." Tyler set the phone down carefully like it might explode. "Jake, Don't." I held up a hand. "I don't need sorry. I need evidence. Photos. Video if you can get it. I need documentation that'll hold up in court." "You want me to go to the hotel?" "We're both going." I checked my watch. 10:18 a.m. "We've got time. I need you to tell me what's possible. What can you actually capture without getting caught?" Tyler ran a hand through his hair. He had the same dark hair as me, same build, but his eyes were lighter. Mom's eyes. Right now they looked worried. "Depends on the layout," he said. Hotels have cameras in hallways. We can't exactly camp outside the door. But if there's a lobby view, or if we can get a sight line when they enter or exit. She's already there, I interrupted. Left at 8:30 this morning. Told me she had meetings with district managers all day. Said she'd be home by 6. And he's checked in early. Yeah? Tyler pulled out his phone, started typing. Let me look up the Riverside Inn. See what we're working with. While he searched, I walked to the refrigerator. Lily's drawings covered the door. Stick figures of our family. Mommy, Daddy, and me, in crayon across the top of one. A house with a too big son. A dog we didn't have but she desperately wanted. 7 years old. Gap-toothed smile. Believed her mother was at work. Believed her father wasn't standing in their kitchen planning surveillance of his wife's affair. Okay, Tyler said. Riverside Inn is 4 stories. Boutique hotel looks like. Fancy. Room 412 would be 4th floor. They've got a restaurant on the ground level, bar attached. Lobby's open concept. Can we see the elevators from the lobby? Probably, but Jake, he hesitated. What exactly are you planning here? I'm planning to catch my wife walking into a hotel room with her boss. I'm planning to document it. Photos, timestamps, everything a divorce lawyer could want. You're sure about this? About divorce? I turned to face him. She's been lying to me for 8 months. She's been sleeping with her boss. She's in that hotel right now, probably getting ready for him. Probably wearing lingerie I paid for. So yeah, Tyler, I'm sure. He nodded slowly. All right. Then we need to be smart about this. We can't just barge in. Can't confront them. That gets us nothing but a scene. I know. We get photos of them entering together, leaving together. We establish they were both there. Timestamps match. That's enough for a lawyer to work with, especially combined with the phone. The phone's not in my name, I said. She bought it with cash, probably. Separate account, maybe. I don't know. But I found it in her car, and I can testify to that. Tyler picked up the secret phone again, scrolled through more messages. These are pretty explicit. Can't wait to taste you again. Last weekend was incredible. This is 8 months of evidence, Jake. Text records, timestamps. Even without photos, this is damning. I want the photos anyway. Okay, he checked his watch. We should leave soon. Get there before noon, scout the location, find a good position. I grabbed my keys, my regular phone. Left Emily's secret phone on the counter for a moment, then changed my mind and pocketed it. Evidence. I needed to keep it close. What about Lily? Tyler asked. She's at school? Until 3. My mom's picking her up today. Emily was supposed to be at work all day, remember? Right. We headed for the door. I paused in the hallway, looking at the photos on the wall. Wedding pictures. Emily in white, me in a tux, both of us smiling like we'd won the lottery. Lily as a baby. Lily's first birthday. Family vacation to the beach 2 summers ago. All of it so obvious in hindsight. The late nights that started 8 months ago. The new lingerie. The way she'd started going to the gym more often, coming home showered and refreshed. The business trips that seemed to multiply. Your husband is a good guy, but he doesn't understand you like I do. Kevin M's words from one of the texts. Like he knew me. Like he had any right to make that judgment. Let's go, I said. Tyler drove. I sat in the passenger seat of his truck, watching the suburbs give way to the commercial district, then to the downtown area where the Riverside Inn occupied a corner lot. Red brick building, probably historic, renovated into something trendy. Valet parking. A doorman. Classy, Tyler muttered. We parked on the street, half a block down. From here we could see the entrance clearly. The doorman opened the door for a couple in business attire. A taxi pulled up, discharged a woman with luggage. 11:23 a.m. He said he checked in early, I said. So he's already up there. And Emily? Her car's probably in their garage or nearby. I pulled out her secret phone, checked for new messages. Nothing since the sweet upgrade text. Tyler assembled his camera, a telephoto lens that looked like something from a spy movie. I can get clear shots from here. Anyone entering, exiting, time-stamped? Good. We waited. 11:35 a.m. A businessman with a rolling suitcase. 11:42 a.m. Two women, laughing, probably friends meeting for lunch. 11:51 a.m. My heart rate picked up. Every car that passed, every person who approached the entrance, I tensed, waiting. Then, at 11:54 a.m., I saw her. Emily's Honda turned into the valet lane. She stepped out wearing the charcoal business suit from this morning, the one she'd claimed was for meetings with district managers. Her blonde hair was down now, styled. She'd refreshed her makeup. She handed her keys to the valet, smiled at him. That smile I'd fallen in love with 11 years ago. Tyler's camera clicked rapidly. Got her. She walked through the entrance, confident, unhurried. The doorman held the door. She disappeared inside. Entering at 11:54, Tyler said, checking his camera display. Clear face shot. License plate on the car. This is good, Jake. I couldn't speak. Watching her walk into that hotel, knowing what she was walking toward, who was waiting for her, the secret phone buzzed. Kevin M. Just saw you pull up. God, you look incredible. Hurry. My hands shook. Jake? Tyler's voice seemed far away. She's going up, I said. Right now. She's going to him. The hotel lobby air conditioning hit me like a wall of ice as I pushed through the revolving door. Tyler was already halfway to the elevator bank, camera bag slung over his shoulder like he belonged here, a businessman checking in, a photographer on assignment. Nobody worth noticing. I should have stayed in the car. That was the smart play. Wait outside, let Tyler do his thing, keep my hands clean. But the secret phone in my pocket kept buzzing with new messages from Kevin M., each vibration like a cattle prod to my spine. You coming? Tyler glanced back, his finger hovering over the elevator call button. The lobby stretched out before me. Marble floors, potted palms, a bored desk clerk scrolling through something on her computer. Soft jazz played from hidden speakers. The Riverside Inn wasn't some cheap roadside motel. It was the kind of place where business travelers expensed their stays, where the rooms came with robes and complimentary bottles of water and blackout curtains that actually worked. The kind of place where my wife had been meeting her boss every Tuesday and Thursday for 8 months. I crossed the lobby in 6 strides. 4th floor, the elevator dinged. Empty. We stepped inside, and Tyler hit the button for 4. The doors slid shut, sealing us into that small mirrored box, and for 3 seconds I had to look at myself. Rumpled shirt, dark circles under my eyes, jaw clenched so tight my teeth ached. You good? Tyler's voice was quiet. No. Fair enough. He adjusted the camera bag. We get the shots, we leave. In and out, 10 minutes max. You don't knock on the door, you don't make a scene, you don't... I know the plan. The elevator lurched upward. 2nd floor. 3rd floor. My heart was doing something arrhythmic in my chest, a jazz solo of its own. The secret phone buzzed again. 4th floor. The doors opened onto a carpeted hallway that smelled like industrial cleaning solution and someone's leftover Chinese food. Room 412 was down the hall to the right, past an ice machine and a housekeeping cart abandoned outside 407. Tyler moved first, walking past 412 without slowing down, like he was heading to a room further down. I followed, keeping my footsteps quiet on the ugly burgundy carpet. We made it to the end of the hallway where it turned left, and Tyler pulled out his camera. Window of opportunity is narrow, he muttered, checking the settings. They're not going to leave the door open, and we can't exactly knock and ask for a photo op. So what's the play? We wait, see if housekeeping comes by. Sometimes they prop doors open while they're cleaning. And if these two ordered room service or the stairwell door at the other end of the hallway banged open. I grabbed Tyler's arm and yanked us both around the corner, out of sight. Footsteps on carpet. Male voice, low and confident. Told her the presentation went well. She bought it. Kevin M. I'd never heard his voice before, but I knew it was him. Had to be. Tyler had his camera up, lens peeking around the corner, motor drive set to silent mode. "You're terrible," Emily's voice, laughing, light and carefree in a way I hadn't heard in months. "She's going to figure it out eventually. Not if we're careful." The sound of a key card sliding into a lock. A beep. A door opening. "After you," Kevin said. "Such a gentleman." The door to 412 clicked shut. Tyler lowered the camera and checked the screen. Got him. Clear shot of his face, partial of hers. Timestamp shows 12:03 p.m. I pulled out the secret phone. 3 new messages, all from Kevin M., all sent before he'd arrived at the hotel. I scrolled back through the conversation, looking for "there" from 2 weeks ago. Kevin M. "Can't wait to see you Tuesday. Missed you this weekend." Emily. "Missed you too. Jake took Lily to his parents' house, gave me an excuse to catch up on work." Kevin M. "You're getting good at this." Emily. "Had a good teacher." My hand was shaking. I shoved the phone back in my pocket. "Jake," Tyler's voice had an edge to it. "We should go." "Not yet. We got what we came for. Face shots, timestamp, location. Your lawyer can subpoena the hotel records, match it all up, and..." I said not yet. I walked back down the hallway toward 412. Tyler hissed something behind me, but I wasn't listening anymore. The door was solid wood, painted white, with a brass number plate and a "Do Not Disturb" sign hanging from the handle. I stood there for maybe 30 seconds. Could hear voices inside, muffled through the door. Emily laughed again, that same bright sound. The secret phone buzzed. I pulled it out. New message from Kevin M., but he was inside the room. I frowned, then realized it must have been scheduled to send, or maybe he'd set it up before going in. Kevin M. Delete this thread after you read it. Can't be too careful. Professional paranoia. Smart, really. Delete the evidence, cover your tracks. Keep the wife in the dark. Except the wife had been stupid enough to leave her second phone in the car where her husband could find it. I took a photo of the door, room number clearly visible, "Do Not Disturb" sign, timestamp. Then I turned and walked back to where Tyler was waiting. Now we can go. The elevator ride down felt longer than the ride up. Tyler didn't say anything, just stood there with his camera bag and watched the numbers descend. Lobby. The doors opened. We made it halfway across the marble floor before my phone, my actual phone, started ringing. Emily's face filled the screen. The photo was from last summer, Lily's birthday party, both of them covered in cake frosting and grinning at the camera. I let it ring. 4 times. 5. It went to voicemail. 10 seconds later, a text came through. Emily. "Hey, stuck in a meeting that's running long. Might not be home until 2. Can you pick up Lily from school?" I showed the screen to Tyler. He read it and shook his head. Unbelievable. We pushed through the revolving door back into the October sunlight. The parking lot stretched out before us, half full of sedans and SUVs. Emily's Honda was still there, parked 3 rows back. My truck was across the street in the public lot. I typed back, "No problem, drive safe." 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Emily. "You're the best. Love you." I pocketed the phone without responding. "What now?" Tyler asked. Good question. I had photos. I had text messages. I had hotel records I could subpoena. I had 8 months of lies documented in digital ink, time-stamped and geotagged, and backed up to the cloud. What I didn't have was a plan for the next 3 hours. Lily got out of school at 2:45. I'd pick her up, take her for ice cream maybe, bring her home. Emily would get back around 2:30 if her pattern held. These meetings usually lasted 90 minutes plus drive time. She'd shower, change clothes, erase the evidence from her skin. By the time I walked in with Lily at 3:15, she'd be in yoga pants and a t-shirt, working on her laptop at the kitchen table, playing the role of devoted wife and mother. The performance would be flawless. I need copies of everything, I said. Photos, timestamps, the works. Can you have them ready by tonight? Yeah, I'll email them and put everything on a thumb drive. Tyler paused. You calling a lawyer? First thing tomorrow morning. And tonight? I looked back at the hotel. 4th floor, room 412. Emily was up there right now, wrapped up in sheets that weren't ours, with a man who wasn't me, living in a reality where consequences didn't exist. Tonight I make dinner, I said. Help Lily with her homework. Put her to bed. Act like everything's normal. That's cold, man. No. I started walking toward my truck. That's strategic. The photos were time-stamped. Emily entering the hotel at 11:54 a.m. Kevin arriving at 11:58 a.m. Both of them walking into room 412 at 12:03 p.m. Tyler had gotten everything I needed. Clear shots of their faces, the room number visible in 3 different frames, the timestamps burned into the corner of each image. I'll email these to you from a secure account, Tyler said as we sat in his car 2 blocks from the Riverside Inn. Don't open them on your home computer. Use your work laptop and make backups on a flash drive you keep somewhere she can't find it. I nodded, still staring at the images on his camera's display screen. Emily's face was perfectly clear in the lobby shot. She was smiling, checking her phone. Probably reading my text asking what she wanted for dinner. Jake. Tyler's voice pulled me back. You need to go home. Act normal. I know it's going to be hell, but you can't let her know anything's wrong. Not yet. I know. Do you have a lawyer? Not yet. Get one. Today. Don't wait. He pulled out his phone and texted me a contact. David Brennan. He handled my buddy's divorce last year. The guy's a shark, but he's fair. Tell him I sent you. I looked at the name on my screen. David Brennan, attorney at law. The number beneath it felt like a lifeline and a death sentence all at once. Thanks, I said. Tyler gripped my shoulder. You're going to get through this, and Lily's going to be fine. You're a good dad. That matters. I drove home on autopilot, my mind cycling through the same thoughts on repeat. How long would I have to pretend? Days? Weeks? Tyler was right. I needed a lawyer first. Needed to know what I was doing before I made a move. Emily was smart. If I confronted her without a plan, she'd find a way to turn it around, make me look like the crazy one. The house was empty when I got back at 1:30 p.m. Lily wouldn't be home from school until 3:15. Emily had said she'd be stuck in meetings until at least 5. I sat at the kitchen table and called David Brennan's office. The receptionist put me through after a brief hold. Brennan's voice was steady, professional. Tyler mentioned you might be calling. What's the situation? I gave him the abbreviated version. Married 11 years. 1 daughter, 7 years old. Wife having an affair with her boss for 8 months. I had text messages and photographs. Can you come in today? Brennan asked. I have an opening at 4. I need to pick up my daughter from school at 3:15. Bring her. We have a play area in the waiting room. This won't take long. Just an initial consultation so I can understand what we're working with. I agreed and hung up. 2 hours to kill. I went upstairs to our bedroom and started looking around with new eyes. Emily's nightstand, her dresser, the closet we shared. I'd never snooped before, never had a reason to. Now I felt like an idiot for being so trusting. Her nightstand drawer held the usual things: hand cream, lip balm, a sleep mask, A paperback romance novel? Nothing incriminating. The dresser was the same. Clothes, jewelry, nothing out of place. Then I checked the closet. On Emily's side, behind a stack of shoe boxes on the top shelf, I found a small gift bag I'd never seen before. Inside was a men's watch, expensive, still in its box. A card was tucked beneath it. For when you finally have time for us. Love always, E. The watch was a Tag Heuer. I looked up the model on my phone. $3,000. My hands were shaking as I put everything back exactly as I'd found it. She'd bought Kevin a $3,000 watch. With our money. With the joint account we shared, the one I'd never questioned because I trusted her. I took photos of the watch and the card with my phone, then went back downstairs. At 3:10 p.m., I was parked outside Lily's school, watching the doors. Other parents milled around, chatting and checking their phones. I wondered how many of them were living the same lie I'd been living 24 hours ago. How many thought they had solid marriages, good partners, stable lives? Lily burst through the doors at 3:17, her backpack bouncing against her shoulders. She spotted my car and waved, grinning. That gap-toothed smile hit me like a punch to the chest. "Hey, kiddo," I said as she climbed into the back seat. "How was school?" "Good. We did science today and made volcanoes with baking soda and vinegar, and mine exploded the biggest, and Mrs. Patterson said it was really impressive." "That's awesome." I pulled out of the parking lot, heading toward Brennan's office downtown. "Hey, we need to make a quick stop before we go home. Boring grown-up stuff. But the office has a play area with toys." "Okay." Lily was already pulling a book out of her backpack, unconcerned. Brennan's office was on the third floor of a converted brownstone. The waiting room was exactly as he described, professional but warm, with a corner dedicated to children's activities. Lily made a beeline for the toy kitchen set while I checked in with the receptionist. Brennan appeared 5 minutes later. He was younger than I'd expected, maybe 40, with sharp eyes and a firm handshake. "Jake, come on back. Your daughter's welcome to stay here with Melissa. She's great with kids." The receptionist smiled at Lily, who was already arranging plastic food on tiny plates. I followed Brennan into his office. He gestured to a chair across from his desk and sat down, pulling out a legal pad. "Tell me everything," he said. "Start from the beginning." I walked him through it. The phone in Emily's car, the text messages, the promotion that coincided with the affair's start date, the hotel stakeout this morning, the photographs, the watch hidden in our closet. Brennan took notes, his expression neutral. When I finished, he looked up. "You've done good work here," he said. "Better than most people in your position. The documentation is solid. Texts, photos, timestamps, the gift. That's all evidence of infidelity, and in this state, that matters for custody and asset division." "I want full custody of Lily," I said. "Or at least primary. I don't want my daughter raised by someone who thinks lying is acceptable." "We'll pursue that. With your evidence, we have a strong case." The affair with her boss also opens up some interesting angles. If the company has a fraternization policy, there could be employment consequences for both of them. But that's secondary to your divorce. He outlined the next steps. File for divorce. Request temporary custody arrangements. Freeze joint accounts to prevent Emily from draining them. Document everything. Every lie, every late night, every work trip. "When should I tell her?" I asked. "Not yet. We need to file the papers first, get our ducks in a row. I'll have everything ready by Friday. We'll serve her at her office, cleaner that way, and there's a witness present. In the meantime, you keep acting normal. I know it's hard, but it's necessary." 3 more days of pretending. 3 more days of kissing her goodbye and asking about her day and sleeping next to her at night. "I can do it," I said. "Good. One more thing. Change your passwords. All of them. Bank accounts, email, everything. Don't give her access to anything she doesn't already have, and start moving important documents somewhere secure. Do you have family nearby who can help? My brother Tyler. He's the one who took the photos. Perfect. Keep him in the loop. You're going to need support when this goes down. I left Brennan's office at 4:45 with a folder full of paperwork and a plan. Lily chattered about the toys in the waiting room all the way to the car, blissfully unaware that her world was about to change. We stopped for ice cream on the way home. Her choice, chocolate chip cookie dough. I got vanilla and barely tasted it. Emily's car was in the driveway when we pulled up at 5:30. She was home early. The front door opened at 5:32 p.m. I was at the kitchen table with Lily, helping her sound out words in her reading homework. The book was about a family of rabbits. Something innocent and simple. Everything I wanted her world to stay. Mommy's home. Lily scrambled off her chair and ran for the entryway. I stayed seated. My hands were steady on the table. I'd practiced this part in my mind 100 times since leaving Brennan's office. Emily appeared in the kitchen doorway with Lily wrapped around her leg. She'd changed clothes since the hotel, now wearing dark jeans and a cream sweater instead of the charcoal suit. Her hair was down, slightly damp at the ends. "Hey, you two," she smiled, but something was off in her eyes. A tightness around the corners. "Started dinner yet?" "Not yet." I kept my voice neutral. "Wasn't expecting you until 6 or later." "Meeting wrapped early." She bent to kiss Lily's head, then moved to the refrigerator. "Thought I'd surprise you guys. Maybe we could do that pasta thing Lily likes?" The lie came so easily. Meeting wrapped early. Not. I spent 2 hours in a hotel room with my boss, then showered at the gym to wash away the evidence. "Sure," I said. "Pasta sounds good." Lily bounced on her toes. "With the twisty noodles?" "With the twisty noodles." Emily pulled ingredients from the fridge. Ground beef, tomato sauce, a package of rotini. Her movements were practiced, efficient. The same hands that had touched Kevin M. 3 hours ago, now reaching for the colander, the cutting board, the knife. I watched her work. Studied her the way you'd study a stranger. She'd showered. That explained the damp hair. The gym had showers. She'd mentioned it before, how convenient it was to squeeze in a workout during lunch. Except she hadn't worked out today. She'd worked Kevin. The thought should have made me angry. Instead, I felt that same cold clarity from this morning, like watching a documentary about someone else's life. "How was your day, sweetie?" Emily asked Lily while browning the beef. "Good. We learned about butterflies. Did you know they taste with their feet?" I did not know that. Emily glanced at me over Lily's head. "How about you, Jake? How was work?" "Productive." I met her eyes. "Got a lot accomplished." "That's good." She turned back to the stove. "I know you've been stressed about the Riverside project." Riverside. The word hung in the air between us. She had no idea. No clue that I knew about the Riverside Inn, about room 412, about the photographs Tyler had taken. She stood there stirring sauce, completely unaware that her entire world was about to collapse in 3 days. "Yeah," I said. "The Riverside situation is almost resolved." "I'm glad," she added, seasoning to the pan. "You work too hard sometimes." The audacity of it. Standing in our kitchen, cooking dinner for our daughter, telling me I work too hard, while she'd spent the afternoon in bed with her boss. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out. A text from Tyler. Uploaded everything to the cloud folder. Timestamps are crystal clear. You need anything else, just say the word. I typed back, "Thanks, talk tomorrow." "Who's that?" Emily asked. "Tyler, wants to grab lunch tomorrow." "That's nice, tell him I said hi." I looked at her. Really looked at her. The woman I'd married 11 years ago. The woman who'd cried happy tears when Lily was born. The woman who'd held my hand through my father's funeral. The woman who'd promised to love me in sickness and health for better or worse. All of it real. All of it true. And also this. The woman who'd been sleeping with her boss for 8 months. Who'd accepted a promotion built on an affair. Who'd lied about meetings and late nights and business trips. Both versions existed simultaneously. That was the part that made my head hurt. "Dinner's almost ready," she announced. "Lily, sweetie, can you set the table?" "Okay." Lily grabbed plates from the cabinet, counting under her breath. 1, 2, 3. We sat down at 6:15 p.m. Emily served pasta onto 3 plates. We held hands while Lily said grace. Something about being thankful for family and food and butterflies. Emily squeezed my hand during the prayer. I squeezed back. Performance for our daughter. Or maybe muscle memory. Hard to tell anymore. "This is really good, Mommy," Lily said through a mouthful of pasta. "Thank you, baby." Emily twirled noodles on her fork. "So, Jake, any plans for the rest of the week?" "The usual. Work, home, family time." I took a bite, chewed, swallowed. "You?" "Pretty packed schedule. We've got that regional conference in Napa this weekend. I mentioned it last week, remember?" I remembered. She'd brought it up 10 days ago. A 3-day conference, Friday through Sunday. Except the conference website showed it was actually only Saturday and Sunday, which meant Friday night was unaccounted for. "Right," I said. "Napa. I hate leaving you guys, but it's mandatory for regional directors." She reached across the table and touched my hand. "I'll make it up to you when I get back. Maybe we can do that date night we keep talking about?" Date night. While Kevin's divorce was being finalized. While they planned their future together. While I was supposed to remain the oblivious husband, grateful for whatever scraps of attention she threw my way. "Sure," I said. "That sounds nice." My phone buzzed again. This time it was Brennan. "Don't forget, maintain normalcy through Friday morning. No confrontations, no hints that you know. The element of surprise is crucial." I set the phone face down on the table. "Everything okay?" Emily asked. "Yeah, just work stuff." We finished dinner. Emily cleared the plates while I helped Lily with the rest of her homework. Math problems about apples and oranges, simple addition and subtraction. Numbers that made sense, unlike the equations of my marriage. At 7:30 p.m., Emily gave Lily a bath. I could hear them laughing upstairs, Lily's voice high and bright, Emily's lower and warm. The sounds of a normal evening in a normal house with a normal family. Except nothing was normal. Nothing had been normal for 8 months. I pulled out the secret phone from where I'd hidden it in my office desk. Powered it on. More messages had come through since this morning. Kevin M. sent at 4:47 p.m. "Still thinking about this afternoon. You're incredible." Emily sent at 4:52 p.m. "You're not so bad yourself. Can't wait for Napa." Kevin M. sent at 4:55 p.m. 3 days. Then we have the whole weekend. My jaw clenched. Napa wasn't about a conference, it was about them. A romantic weekend while I stayed home with Lily, playing the fool. But I wouldn't be the fool, not anymore. I took screenshots of the new messages. Uploaded them to the cloud folder Tyler had set up. Added them to the growing file of evidence that would destroy her in court. Footsteps on the stairs. I powered off the phone and slid it back into the desk drawer just as Emily appeared in the doorway. "Lily's in her pajamas. Want to do bedtime stories?" "Sure." I stood, following her upstairs. Lily was already in bed, clutching her stuffed elephant. We sat on either side of her, me on the left, Emily on the right. A family portrait of lies. "Read the butterfly book," Lily demanded. Emily read while I listened. Her voice was soft, gentle. The same voice that had probably whispered things to Kevin this afternoon. The same voice that had said, "I love you" to me this morning. I wondered if she ever confused us. If she ever almost called me by his name or him by mine. if the lies ever tangled in her head the way they tangled in mine. Lily fell asleep halfway through the second book. Emily kissed her forehead, smoothed her hair. For a moment, watching her with our daughter, I almost forgot. Almost slipped back into the comfortable delusion of the past 11 years. Then I remembered the photographs, the timestamps, the hotel room, the messages about Napa. We walked downstairs together in silence. "I'm exhausted," Emily said, stretching. "Think I'll turn in early. You coming?" The thought of lying next to her, of sharing a bed, made my skin crawl. But Brennan's words echoed in my head. Maintain normalcy. "In a bit. Want to catch up on some emails first? Don't stay up too late." She kissed my cheek. Her lips were soft, familiar. "Love you. Love you too." The words tasted like ashes. She headed upstairs. I waited until I heard the bedroom door close, then pulled out my regular phone and texted Tyler. "She's planning something in Napa this weekend, with him. Need you to keep Friday night open." His response came immediately. "Already cleared my schedule. Whatever you need, brother." I sat in the dark kitchen, listening to the house settle around me. Upstairs, my wife was probably already asleep, dreaming about her future with Kevin, about their life together once his divorce was final, once she'd figured out how to leave me. But she wouldn't get that future, not the way she'd planned it. Friday was 2 days away. I could wait 2 more days. The morning light filtered through our bedroom window, landing directly across Emily's face. I'd been awake for hours, lying perfectly still beside her, watching her sleep. The alarm hadn't gone off yet. 6:15 a.m. She looked peaceful, innocent even. Her blonde hair spread across the pillow, one hand tucked under her cheek like Lily does when she sleeps. How many mornings had I woken up next to this woman and felt grateful? How many times had I reached over to brush that same hair from her face, thinking I was the luckiest man alive? The alarm buzzed. Emily stirred, reached over to silence it, then rolled toward me with a sleepy smile. "Morning," she murmured. "Morning." She kissed my shoulder, then sat up, stretching. "I need to get an early start today. Have to prep for the Napa conference this weekend." "Right. The conference that didn't exist." "What time are you leaving Friday?" I kept my voice neutral, conversational. "Probably around 3. The opening reception starts at 7, so I want to get there, check in, freshen up." She stood, padding toward the bathroom. "You're still okay with Lily for the weekend?" "Of course. We'll have fun." She paused at the bathroom door, looking back at me. For a second, something flickered across her face. Guilt? Doubt? Then it was gone, replaced by that practiced smile. "You're amazing, you know that?" Most husbands would complain about being left alone with a 7-year-old all weekend. "She's my daughter, not exactly a hardship." Emily disappeared into the bathroom. A moment later, I heard the shower running. I got up, pulled on jeans and a t-shirt and headed downstairs. Made coffee, started breakfast. Went through all the motions of a normal Wednesday morning while my phone sat heavy in my pocket, loaded with evidence that would detonate this entire performance by Friday afternoon. David Brennan had been clear. Maintain absolute normalcy. No confrontations. No hints that anything had changed. Emily couldn't suspect, couldn't prepare, couldn't move money or assets or start building her own narrative. "Just 2 more days," he'd said yesterday when I called to confirm everything was ready. "Friday at 2 p.m., my process server will be waiting in her office lobby. The moment she's served, you change all the passwords, move half the liquid assets to a separate account, and document everything in the house. By the time she gets home, you'll have already filed an emergency custody motion based on parental alienation concerns." Parental alienation? She's planning to take your daughter on what she's told you is a work trip, but is actually a romantic weekend with her affair partner. That demonstrates poor judgment and deceptive behavior that could harm the child. Family court judges take that seriously. So I'd waited, maintained the facade, kissed my wife goodbye, Tuesday morning knowing she was meeting Kevin at the Riverside Inn. Smiled through dinner Tuesday night while she talked about her productive day at the office. Helped Lily with her homework while Emily sorted through clothes for her fake conference. Now it was Wednesday morning, and I had 48 hours left of this performance. Emily came downstairs at 7:15, dressed in a navy skirt and cream blouse, her hair still damp from the shower. She poured coffee into her travel mug, the same one she'd carried Monday morning when I'd watched her drive to the hotel. "Lily's not up yet?" she asked. "I'll get her in a minute. Let her sleep a little longer." Emily checked her phone, typed something quickly, then looked up with a slight frown. "I might be late tonight. We're doing inventory reviews, and you know how those run." Inventory reviews. Was that what they were calling it now? "No problem. I'll handle dinner." She walked over, kissed my cheek. "What would I do without you?" The question hung in the air between us. In 48 hours, she'd find out. After Emily left, I woke Lily and got her ready for school. We went through our morning routine: breakfast, backpack check, finding her missing library book under the couch. Normal. Ordinary. The kind of morning we'd had hundreds of times before. Except I kept thinking about Friday. About what came next. I dropped Lily at school at 8:20, then drove to work. My project deadline was Friday afternoon. Perfect timing, actually. I'd be in the office, surrounded by colleagues and witnesses, when Emily got served. No chance for her to call me, to spin some story, to try to manipulate the situation before I'd secured everything. My phone buzzed around 10:30. "Tyler." "Got something interesting," he said when I answered. "What?" "Remember how you asked me to check Emily's social media? See if there were any public posts that didn't match her story?" "Yeah." "She's been tagging herself at the office on days when she was actually at the hotel. But here's the thing. Kevin's been doing the same. Both of them posting about long days at the office and grinding through reports on the same afternoons they were at the Riverside Inn." I leaned back in my desk chair, staring at my computer screen without seeing it. They coordinated their alibis on social media? Looks like it. I've got screenshots going back 6 months. It's a pattern. Every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, like clockwork. Twice a week. For 6 months. While I was home with Lily, helping with homework and making dinner, Emily was posting pictures of her coffee cup next to stacks of papers, pretending to work late. "Send everything to David Brennan," I said. "He'll want it for the filing." "Already did." "Jake, you doing okay?" Was I? I'd moved past the initial shock, past the anger. Now I just felt cold, calculating, like I was watching all of this happen to someone else. "I'm fine, just counting down to Friday." After we hung up, I tried to focus on work, made progress on the project timeline, responded to emails, attended a status meeting. But part of my brain was always elsewhere, always running through Friday's plan. 2:09 p.m. Emily gets served at her office. 2:15 p.m. I change all passwords, bank accounts, credit cards, streaming services, everything. 2:30 p.m. I transfer half of our liquid savings to a new account in my name only. 3:00 p.m. I document the house, photograph everything, especially that $3,000 watch hidden in her closet. 3:30 p.m. Pick up Lily from school, normal as always. 4:00 p.m. David files the emergency custody motion. By the time Emily got home Friday evening, the ground would have already shifted beneath her feet. No warning, no chance to prepare. Just the sudden, devastating realization that her carefully constructed double life had collapsed. My phone buzzed again. This time, it was a text from Emily. Inventory meeting running even later than I thought. Might not be home until 9. Sorry, babe. Love you. I stared at the message. Inventory meeting. Right? I pulled up the tracking app Tyler had helped me install on Monday, the one linked to Emily's phone location. It showed her at an address I didn't recognize. I plugged it into Google Maps, the Riverside Inn. Of course. I typed back, no worries. I'll save you some dinner. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. Then, you're the best. What did I do to deserve you? The question made something twist in my chest. Not pain anymore, something harder, colder. See you tonight, I typed back. I put the phone down and returned to work. Finished the project timeline, sent it to my manager, wrapped up everything that needed to be done before Friday. At 5:30, I left the office and picked up Lily from after-school care. She was excited about something that happened at recess, talking nonstop about how she and her friend Madison had built an entire fairy house out of sticks and leaves. Can we build one in our backyard? She asked as I buckled her into her car seat. Sure, kiddo, this weekend. But Mommy's going to be gone. I know, it'll be a daddy-daughter project. Lily grinned, showing that gap where her front tooth used to be. Can we get pizza Friday night, since it's just us? Absolutely. We drove home through the early evening traffic. I made spaghetti for dinner, Lily's favorite. We ate together at the kitchen table, and she told me more about the fairy house, about her spelling test, about how her teacher said she was doing really well in math. Normal, ordinary, the life I'd thought we had. At 9:15, headlights swept across the living room window. Emily's car in the driveway. I was on the couch, laptop open, pretending to review work documents. Lily was already asleep upstairs. Emily came through the door looking tired. Her blouse was slightly wrinkled, her hair not quite as perfect as it had been this morning. Hey, she said, dropping her bag by the door. Sorry I'm so late. It's fine. There's spaghetti in the fridge if you're hungry. I grabbed something at the office. She kicked off her heels, then came over and sat beside me on the couch. How was Lily? Good. Excited about building a fairy house this weekend. Emily smiled. She's been talking about those all week. She leaned her head on my shoulder. I'm going to miss you guys. I kept my eyes on the laptop screen. It's just 2 days. I know, but still. She yawned. I should pack tomorrow night. Make sure I have everything ready. Good idea. We sat there for a few more minutes. Emily's head on my shoulder, my fingers moving across the keyboard, both of us performing our roles perfectly. Tomorrow was Thursday. One more full day of this. Then Friday would come, and everything would change. Friday morning arrived with the kind of crystalline autumn clarity that felt almost cruel. I woke at 5:30 a.m., an hour before the alarm, and lay there listening to Emily breathe beside me. Her last morning in this bed. Our last morning as a married couple, though she didn't know it yet. By 6:45, she was showered and dressed, pulling clothes from her closet for the Napa trip. I watched from the doorway as she folded a black dress into her suitcase, something I'd never seen her wear. New, probably. Bought for Kevin. You'll call me tonight after you put Lily down? She asked, not looking up. Of course. She zipped the suitcase, then turned to face me. For a moment, we just stood there, and something flickered across her face. If I hadn't known better, I might have thought it was regret. I love you, Jake. The words should have hurt. Instead, I felt nothing. Love you too. She left at 7:30, after kissing Lily goodbye and reminding me about soccer practice on Saturday. I stood in the driveway with our daughter, waving as Emily's Honda disappeared down the street toward a hotel room she'd never reach. At 2 p.m., while I sat in a conference room pretending to care about construction schedules, David Brennan's process server walked into Emily's office building. I'd seen the photos he'd sent. A professional woman in a business suit, carrying a manila envelope that contained the end of my marriage. My phone buzzed at 2:17 p.m. Brennan. She's been served. Process server reports she went pale and asked to speak to her attorney. It's done. I excused myself from the meeting and went to my car. Followed the checklist Brennan had given me. Changed every password. Moved $47,000, exactly half our savings, into a new account. Called the credit card companies and froze our joint cards. Documented everything with timestamps and screenshots. At 2:45, Emily called. I let it go to voicemail. She called again at 2:47, again at 2:51. At 2:55, a text came through. Emily. Jake, please pick up. We need to talk. This is a misunderstanding. I blocked her number and drove to Lily's school. My daughter came running out at 3:15, backpack bouncing, completely unaware that her world had just fractured. We got ice cream, went to the park. I pushed her on the swings while my phone vibrated continuously in my pocket, Emily trying every method she could think of to reach me. At 4:30, Tyler texted. She showed up at the Riverside Inn. Kevin's car is already there. Want me to document it? No, I typed back. We have enough. Let her have her weekend. It's the last one that won't involve lawyers. We ordered pizza for dinner, just like I'd promised. Lily and I built the fairy house in the backyard using sticks and leaves and an old shoebox. She was so proud of it that she insisted on taking pictures to show Mommy. I didn't tell her that Mommy wouldn't be coming home for a while. At 8 p.m. after Lily was asleep, I finally listened to Emily's voicemails. There were 11 of them. The first few were confused, asking me to call her back. Then angry, demanding to know what I thought I was doing. Then desperate, crying, saying we could work this out. The last one, left at 7:43 p.m., was different. Jake. Her voice was flat, defeated. I know you know everything. I can't explain it in a way that makes it okay. But please, please don't take Lily from me. Whatever you want from me, whatever you need, I'll do it. Just don't take our daughter. I deleted all of them and went to bed. The divorce took 7 months. Emily fought at first, hired an expensive attorney, tried to paint me as controlling and vindictive. But the evidence was overwhelming. The text messages, the photographs, the hotel records David subpoenaed, the $3,000 watch, the social media posts that proved she'd been lying for months. Her attorney eventually advised her to settle. I got primary custody of Lily. Emily got supervised visitation every other weekend and Wednesday evenings. The house, the better car, 70% of our assets. She got to keep her job, barely, after Kevin was quietly transferred to a different region. Turned out the company did have a fraternization policy after all. The day the divorce was finalized, I took Lily to the beach. We built sand castles and collected shells and ate ice cream that dripped down our hands. She asked me if Mommy was sad. Probably, I told her honestly. Are you sad? I looked at my daughter, gap-toothed and sunburned, and holding a bucket full of broken shells like they were treasure. No, sweetheart, I'm not sad. And I wasn't. Somewhere between finding that second phone and signing the final papers, the pain had transmuted into something else. Not forgiveness. I'd never forgive Emily for what she'd done. But acceptance. Understanding that some people carry the capacity for deception like a second skin, and no amount of love or trust or history can change that. Emily had made her choices. I'd made mine. 2 years later, I ran into Kevin at a hardware store. He was alone, looked older, thinner. We made eye contact across the paint aisle. He opened his mouth like he wanted to say something, then thought better of it and walked away. I heard later that Emily had left him 6 months after our divorce was final. Apparently, affairs built on lies don't make great foundations for relationships. Who knew? Lily adjusted better than I'd feared. She split her time between my house and Emily's apartment, learned to navigate the reality of divorced parents with the resilience that children somehow manage. She still built fairy houses in our backyard, still brought home spelling tests with gold stars, still asked questions about why Mommy and Daddy didn't live together anymore. I answered them honestly, in age-appropriate ways. Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes, Sometimes people change. Sometimes love isn't enough. She seemed to accept this, the way children accept most truths, with a shrug and a request for snacks. As for me, I learned something I hadn't expected, that you can survive the destruction of everything you thought you knew. That trust, once broken, doesn't repair. It transforms into something harder and clearer. That the person you thought you married and the person you actually married can be two entirely different people, and discovering that difference isn't the end of your story. It's just the end of one chapter. I never remarried. Never felt the desire to. Instead, I focused on being the parent Lily deserved, on building a life based on truth rather than comfortable illusions. I taught her that actions have consequences, that integrity matters, that the people who love you should never make you doubt your reality. Sometimes, late at night, I still think about that Tuesday morning, about finding the second phone, about the moment everything changed. And I wonder what would have happened if I'd never reached for that travel mug, never seen that text message, never discovered the truth. Would I still be living that lie? Would Emily still be splitting her time between two men, two lives, two versions of herself? Would I still be the faithful husband, the trusting fool, the man who believed in something that didn't exist? Maybe. Probably. But I'm glad I'm not. Because here's what I learned. The truth might shatter your world, but at least the pieces are real. You can build something new from honest rubble. You can't build anything lasting on a foundation of lies. Emily taught me that, though not in the way she intended. And in the end, that might be the only thing I should thank her for.